Main story, at least 6 people have been killed and others trapped in rubble after an earthquake in the central Italian region of Umbria.
The mayor of one town in the area, Amatrice, has said that many buildings have collapsed. He said he believed half of the town had gone. The quake, which measured of a magnitude of 6.2, hit at about 3:30 local time this morning.
The devastation tells the story. Reports of lives lost and buildings reduced to rubble. At 3:30 in the morning, the earthquake struck, reaching a magnitude of 6.2. It was felt across large swathes of the country, from as far as Rome to Venice. The worst hit areas appear to be small hilltop villages in the area. Helicopters are being sent out to assess the damage.
At the moment, I'm in a little village called Camartina, but I know that for sure we had 2 people died in the location called Arquata del Tronto, that is the municipality. So we have so many houses that made destroyed.
The mayor of the small town of Amatrice told Italian television that buildings had collapsed, saying half the town was gone. And in close-by Accumoli, it's reported that a family of 4 were trapped under the rubble. This is an area vulnerable to earthquakes. In 2009, the same region was struck. More than 300 people died. This morning, as it gets light, the true scale of the damage will become apparent. Katrina Renton, BBC News.
Well, our Rome correspondent James Reynolds is on his way to Perugia now and joins us on the phone. James, I know it's very early days, but can you tell us more about what you know about the situation there right now?
We've seen some pictures from the town of Amatrice, which I don't know if you've been able to show in your report, and they suggest that a number of buildings have gone down. We've got reports that there are rescuers and even volunteers searching through the rubble, making sure that nobody's trapped underneath or trying to rescue those who will have been in their homes when the earthquake struck overnight. We felt the earthquake in Rome, more than 100 miles away from the epicenter in central Italy, giving you an indication of just how powerful it may have been. My colleague and I are in central Italy at the moment, approaching the affected area. This is a mountainous area. It's the Apennine mountain region. It is an area of seismic activity, so an earthquake here is not particularly surprising. One of the biggest problems and challenges for emergency response teams will be making sure they get to some isolated villages and towns which are accessible only via winding roads.
And James, how much expectation is there amongst the Italian public that there could be perhaps any warning before events like this? I know there has been, back in 2009, there was a huge controversy, wasn't there, because there wasn't enough warning before the earthquake then, they claim.
Yes, and this led to fury among the scientific community, with many scientists and seismologists pointing out that there is simply no accurate way of predicting the day, the hour, the minute that an earthquake strikes. It just doesn't work like that. This is an area of seismic activity, and therefore an earthquake is not particularly surprising. And Italy does have an emergency response team designed to cope with and respond to earthquakes in this particular area. We've already seen one fire engine overtake us on the main road from Rome, heading up towards the affected area.
James, thank you very much indeed. That's James Reynolds, who is on his way to the affected area at the moment, and he is due to arrive there before we go off air this morning, so we hope to get the very latest from him throughout the programme here on Breakfast.
Extraordinary pictures, aren't they, from Amatrice? I mean, you can see how narrow those streets are, which is going to make it really difficult. And
all those very old buildings, maybe more vulnerable to collapsing. There's some argument that they've built really well. So
we might get some British people calling in, because there's a lot of British people in Umbria and Tuscany at the moment. So if you've got relatives out there, let us know. And obviously there'll be a lot of concern for people who are there on holiday. Let's move on.